speaking. Welcome to another session from Training Sites and teachonline.io. What are we going to do today? Well, I'm actually going to do something that might be interesting for people who are big fans of BuddyBoss and LearnDash and building training sites and communities. And what is that? Well, I'm actually going to spend some time building, probably about an hour. I'm going to actually build a community for my pickleball project. Now, if you missed last week, we talked about, I think, 13 or 14 different ways to monetize a community, and I'm actually going to build the community today. So it should take about an hour. Hopefully we'll get through it pretty quickly. And just the first thing, there's a couple things I just want to go over just so I put this in perspective. At the end of it, we're going to have a complete community site, and it's going to include LearnDash for courses, if I end up adding those, and BuddyBoss community. So that's what's going to happen at the end. And my real goal for this, it's something I didn't mention last week, and it's something that is probably more important, and we'll cover it later in one of the other sessions, but it's probably more important for this project in particular, is that we're using BuddyBoss, and I'm using BuddyBoss for the WordPress site and building out this community. And the thing I didn't mention about monetizing is you have to remember that BuddyBoss has a native mobile app. So that means we can take the exact community that I'm building and turn it into a mobile app that runs on your smartphone. Whether it be an Android device or an Apple device, doesn't matter. It's a native app. Whatever happens on the phone app happens live on the site. Whatever happens live on the site happens on the phone. So this is something that's going to be or make a really big difference for people who are thinking about, how am I going to monetize it? I think there's a real opportunity here with this pickleball project, specifically to take the mobile app and add on to the additional things that are going to happen on the site. And I think there'll probably be more people using the mobile app at the end of the day than there will be using the live site. But everything that we do today still applies. So that's what I want to do. I had some notes here. The purpose for me for this is I want to be able to have a site that people can register for free. I want to have a site that will allow for courses if I end up adding them. I want to make sure that it allows members or associations that are pickleball associations in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. I want them to be able to create their own groups. I want people to be able to create their own profiles, message with people, chat with people, ask questions, build out a huge community. We're going to add gamification, which is going to be kind of interesting, allowing people to earn points and receive awards for that. So I have a pretty big picture for it. We're going to put in all the pieces that we need in terms of the stack of tools, WordPress tools, so that I can have a WordPress site and a native app that runs BuddyBoss, and perhaps LearnDash for doing some courses, some pickleball courses, and at the end of today, we're going to have that up and running. Now, there's a couple things in the background that I have done just so that we put this into context. I did have a logo done, and today I'm going to install the logo so it's somewhat branded, but I won't be doing the colors and the fonts. I won't be doing that today. So we'll just use the default theme that comes with BuddyBoss, and it's only going to be branded basically with the logo. So I'll add that. The other thing that's going to happen is I'm going to be adding licensed copy. So just be aware that I may come back to this headshot. And the reason being is because I'm actually adding a live license key, and behind it I don't want you to see it since this is live and I can't gray it out, or I don't know how to gray it out for that matter. So that's going to be done as well. And we're actually going to start. I've got the domain registered, so we're going to use this domain. It's going to be called mypickleballfriends.com. I also have pickleballfriends with a z.com, and I'm not really sure that I want to use that one just because of the spelling with the z at the end. So for all intents and purposes today, we're going to do mypickleballfriends.com. I've got this site domain registered, and I'm also going to show you how to basically create a WordPress site right from start. Now, one of the hosts that we use on a regular basis for some clients, we have our own dedicated servers for a lot of the sites we do for clients at trainingsites.io. But on this particular case, I'm going to put it on our SiteGround account, and I'm actually going to use the SiteGround tools to create a WordPress site. In a couple minutes, we'll go through that process and you can see how it works. I'm also, make sure you understand, I'm got a stack of tools that we use. These are tools that we use on a regular basis. They're WordPress specific tools, plugins, themes, extensions, that kind of thing that we use in this stack. Is it the only stack of tools to use? Absolutely not. These are the ones that we're going to use that are appropriate for this project. We're also going to put in the marketing tools. So you're going to see that we're going to have our tools for doing email marketing and email automations. We're going to put that and connect that particular tool in. So there's a lot that's going to happen. I'm going to go quickly. But again, this is all stuff that we teach on teachonline.io, our community, which you're free to go join and register. And at trainingsites.io, which is our agency, these are the sites that we build for people. So let's see if I can get started here. What I'm going to do is, and again, if I muck up on using Ecamm Live, which is the live webcast tool, which I'm still learning how to use. We don't use StreamYard or some of the other ones. We actually have a live one that works on the Mac. I'm going to switch over to the browser and we see if that works properly. If I muck up anything, my apologies, and I'll do my best to get it working properly. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's go. Hey, there's my Chrome desktop. There's me in the background. So that's what I did want to have happen, which is a good thing. So we'll try and see if that works. Perfect. So I've got my desktop. What do I need to do here? What I want to do is, let's go and open this up. And we'll make this a little bit bigger so that you see it. We get rid of some of the stuff at the bottom. There we go. So we're there. Oh, you not want to see that one here. Those are some old lessons, so we'll get rid of that. And hopefully you didn't see that. I'll have to cut it out. What do we got here? Okay. We're logged into a particular, what do we got? An account here right now for SiteGround. And what I'm going to do is on this one, I'm going to go to my account. We're going to open this up in SiteGround, and I'm actually going to use the SiteGround tools to create a brand new site. And I'm going to click on the create a site. It's going to come up and it asks us, it's a new domain. Do I have an existing domain, a temporary one? I'm going to use existing domain. So I'm just going to click select, and I'm going to put the domain that I registered in, which is my pickleballfriends.com. And again, I've registered this domain and I've set up the name servers at the registrar so that they're pointing to the SiteGround name server. So I'm just going to click continue. So what SiteGround's doing, it's saying, okay, we have a website and we're going to set up a brand new website. And in this case, I have the option between starting a new one or migrating one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select start. And I want WordPress and WooCommerce. So I'm going to select that one. And I'm going to set up a login. And what I'll do with this one is I'm just going to switch back. I'm going to switch back to the actual, so what's the word? Sorry. I'm going to switch back to my headshot so this gets covered properly. I'm going to create a username and a password for logging in. And let's just go back and open this one back up. So I want to make sure that I go back to, where do I want to go back to the live feed? There we go. Okay, so in the background, what I'm doing now is I'm just going to go back to that page and I'm going to go and put an email address in. And when you create this email address, the other thing that I'm going to do on SiteGround is I'm actually going to create some email addresses specifically for my pickleballfriends.com. And what are they going to be? They're going to be, in this case, they're going to be, I usually do one which is my name, personal name at the domain name. I also use an info at. The reason I use that one is that will be in marketing and forms, and I don't want to be overwhelmed with personal emails. I want to have an email for the site, so I use info. And I also create one called support at the domain name or help at the domain name. So I usually create 3 emails. On this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, we'll put in an admin one for me. So I'm just putting in my email address that I'm just going to create, and I'm going to generate a password here. I'm going to save it so that I have it. And I'm going to click continue. And what's going to happen is I'm just going to click finish. And it's going to start creating my site. And when it creates the site, we're going to have that site running in the background here. It's creating the site in the background, so it usually takes a couple minutes for this to happen. But at the end, what's going to happen is we're going to have a website with WordPress and WooCommerce on it, and it's going to be called mypickleballfriends.com. So that's going to be set up, and that's something that we'll be able to use in the future and have so that we've got an email or an admin login available for us that we can actually get logged in as the administrator and get working on it. So kind of neat the way that this is set up already. We're in pretty good shape for the passwords. Again, over on the other side here, I'm just going to make sure that I save some of these. So I'm saving some usernames and passwords on another screen. And remember that I do have a bunch of tools that we use on a regular basis. These are ones that our agency has licensed and the ones we use on client sites. And the ones that we're going to use aren't the only ones. There's actually, let me just open this one up. There's actually, I do have a whole set of tools that we use as well on some of the sites. And for example, hopefully you should be able to see this. I'll try and make it a little bit bigger. Let's try this one here. So with WordPress, for example, we're going to be using the BuddyBoss theme, but it's not the only one. One of the ones that we recommend are WP Astra or GeneratePress, which is another good one. We're going to be putting SEO plugins in. There's a number of them. We use Rank Math on this one. Podcasting, we're going to be doing some podcasting, so we're going to use Seriously Simple Podcast or Castos. I'm going to show you that one. Affiliate program, need to have an affiliate program, so we're going to use Affiliate WP. Calendars, I might use Event Calendar, Modern Event Calendar. Those are the 2 that we use on a regular basis. Both of them work well, some a little bit better than others for doing virtual events, which is something that I'm going to consider. Forms, we're going to use Fluent Forms. Security, I use WordFence. SiteGround has its own tool. So I might use that one and we'll skip WordFence, but the one that we normally use is WordFence. Analytics, there's a couple there. There's actually one, if you use Google Site one, I'm just going to change this actually. There's another one that I'm going to use a free one just on this one called Independent Analytics, which is actually a replacement for using Google. So those ones are there. Some better docs we're not going to use. Got some opt-ins, editors. So we're going to put all of this stuff in. Community plugins, ability to take payments. You can see that we used WooCommerce. There's a whole bunch of other ones there that are available. Videos, different tools, social media tools. So there's a lot of stuff that is available in terms of options to us. I'm only going to be using some of those. If you did want a copy of this map, it's certainly available to you, and we'll give that to you to get set up. So here we go. We're all set up. mypickleballfriends.com has been created. So if I want to log into the minute, I can. Site Tools. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go to Site Tools first, because what I want to do is I'm going to go and create some email accounts. So I'm going to use James. I'm going to generate a password. And let's hide it and do another one. And I'm going to use the one that's here, not the one that First Pass is recommending. So I'm not using that one. Just be aware I'm not using that one. I'm just putting it over on the other side here. And got that one there. Okay. And got that. So now I have an email account. I'm just going to create it. So I now have email, which I can set up in my Gmail or whatever. And the other thing I can do is I can go and log in my webmail, but I can also do a forwarder. So these are the ones I was talking about. I'm going to do an info right now at there. And it's going to go to, for now, going to go to mypickleballfriends.com. I'm going to create that one. So it's just forwarding any emails to info. We're going to go there. And I'm also going to do another one. Let's do another forwarder. And I'll do support. And we'll have that one go to so here's one of the things, just some people get a little bit confused with email. The way that I've set this one up is I have one email account, but I have 3 email addresses. So anything that gets sent to any one of those 3 email addresses will go to the single account, so that I can have multiple addresses that forward any messages to that one email. So if I have an Outlook account or a Gmail account, I can set up that one email account, in this case, James at My Pickleball Friends, and have that as an account that I check my mail on inside Gmail. But any of those email addresses, messages that are sent there, will go to that single account. So that's the difference between an email account and an email forwarder. So I've got those ones set up. I'm just going to click Create now. So I have 3 email addresses, and that's a great place to get started. Now let's go back to the dashboard here. So I'm mypickleballfriends.com. I'm going to go to the dashboard. Install and manage WordPress. I've got all these pieces here, but what I want to do is I'm going to go to, let's see, on the site. Let's go and see what I got here. Edit pin tools, subdomain. We've got all some stats here. In this case, WordPress. I've got some of the additional pieces here, the domain. I've got no park domains and no subdomains, no redirects, anything that's there. Here's my email that we were just talking about. So if I click on this, it'll say manage. I've got them there, but I already have an installation, so I don't have to bother with that. So what I'm going to do here on the right-hand side at the bottom, if there's a little login to admin panel or the little menu there, I can look and see some of the additional options available. But I'm going to go log in. I'm going to log into the admin panel, and we're going to have a site. Welcome to the WordPress site. And this is something actually that is a wizard that's unique to SiteGround. I don't want to bother with it today, so I'm just going to exit the wizard, and it's going to bring me back to the default, mostly default WordPress setup here, so WordPress dashboard. Now, I don't have to have this, and it can be removed later. But in this one, see in the bottom here, it says, if you wish, you can always switch to default. I'm going to switch to default, so I get rid of all the SiteGround stuff. And I'm going to dismiss some of these things, but we've basically got a WordPress install now, and you'll see on the left-hand side that I have WooCommerce installed. And if I go to Appearance and Themes, I'm just going to have the default themes that come with WordPress. So 22, 21, and 23, again, these are basic themes that are available. If I go to Plugins and take a look, these are the ones that SiteGround has installed. SiteGround Central, Optimizer, and Security. WooCommerce is here. In my case, I don't want necessarily the SiteGround ones, so I'm just going to deactivate those ones for now. So we got a clean slate. Clean slate. Nothing here to do other than get started building out our community. So what is it we actually need? In the background here, again, if you have any questions or anything like that, make sure to ask them. I'll take a look here and see what we've got over on the side there. If there's any questions, that's fine. So we have to put our stack of tools in to build out the community. And I went over some of them that I'm going to use, but the main ones are I'm going to be using BuddyBoss. And BuddyBoss is a theme as well as a plugin that creates community. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install the BuddyBoss platform, which is the basic platform that anyone can use to get started. So I'm just going to go and we'll go to plugins and I'll add new. And you know what? I can't remember if it is here in the tool here, but in the default WordPress directory of extensions or plugins. Now, luckily, BuddyPress for LearnDash, that's not what we want. We want BuddyBoss, all sorts of additional ones there. But I don't see the one that's the actual BuddyBoss one specific to BuddyBoss and the BuddyBoss website. So what I did, of course, is I downloaded it beforehand. So instead of add new by finding them in the directory, I'm going to upload plugin. And I'm going to choose the file from some of the files that we have. And in this case, let's take a look and see what we got here. I've got, we'll do some of the plugins and themes, and we'll do plugin masters. So I've installed some already, right? So, pardon me, not installed, but I've downloaded them so that they're available here. And the first one we want is the platform. So I'm going to install the platform. And I'm going to install. So I selected it from the downloads we've done. Now I'm going to do install. And that's going to upload that particular plugin and make it available to us. In this case, I'm going to go and before I turn them on, I'm just going to install the different tools that we need. So I'm going to upload another plugin here. I'm going to choose it, and we're actually going to do the Platform Pro. So there's two versions of the BuddyBoss platform. One is the base one, which is available for free. The other one is the Pro one, which has some additional features that I want to be using on the Pickleball site. So I'm going to download both of them, and we'll go over them as we run through this install here. Again, if you have any questions, make sure to let me know. I'll make my best to do my best to answer them in the chat. I'll put some resources down in the comments section below. So I've got that plugin, two plugins. I've got the BuddyBoss platform that's there. The other thing I want it to look good, like a real good community. So I'm going to use the BuddyBoss theme. So instead of going to the plugin installer right now, I'm going to go to the appearance menu on the left, and I'm going to go to themes. And right now I have the ability to upload some themes. And again, I've downloaded them from BuddyBoss as well. So I'm going to click add new, and I'm going to upload a theme. I'm going to choose it. And lucky enough, I have the latest versions here in our master directory of plugins. So I'm going to select that and now install it. And we're going to get the actual BuddyBoss theme. Now, one of the things that happens when you're using WordPress, it's a really good idea, in my opinion, to make sure that you're using a child theme. And a child theme is kind of like a wrapper over top of the actual theme. And what that means is you can make changes to the wrapper so that you can either change the way things look or make some fundamental changes or even add little snippets of code to the theme. And it's the child theme you add it to without affecting the actual live theme. So it's a real good way to insulate your live theme, but still allow you the flexibility to make any changes in the future that you need, customizing how that original theme works. So I've installed the theme. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to go back now as well. I'm going to go to themes again, and I'm going to upload another theme, which is, in this case, it is the BuddyBoss child theme. And again, this is something that's available from the BuddyBoss site. Specifically, I'm going to click and install that. And now what we've got is the start of our community. We've got the BuddyBoss platform and the BuddyBoss Platform Pro. Those are the pieces that we have. The other thing that we have is the BuddyBoss theme and the BuddyBoss child theme. So let's take a look and see what our site looks like now. So I'm just going to go and visit the site. We'll go take a look at it. It's pretty ugly. We've got a sample page, our WooCommerce shop, place for my account, checkout, the cart, my WordPress site. Just pretty straightforward, nothing there. So how about if I go to the dashboard again? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my plugins now. Installed plugins, I've got some ones that are not active, specifically the BuddyBoss one. So I'm going to select the BuddyBoss platform. I'm just going to activate that. Now it may ask me to go through some pieces. I'm not going to do that right now. And I'm going to go back to plugins again. And I'm going to do the BuddyBoss Platform Pro. Now it might ask me to do some licensing here, which again, we'll do in the background. The other thing I just want you to notice, it says your store does not appear to be using a secure connection. Now, most hosting accounts now come with free SSL. You shouldn't have to pay for it. Most hosting accounts use what's called auto SSL, which is included free. And it allows you to have at the URL, instead of HTTP plus, and then // it'll show HTTPS://. And that means that you've got SSL or secure sockets layer security enabled on your site, which is a must in these days to make sure that everything is secure between your web host and the user. So I've got those activated. It's going to ask me to, on the Platform Pro, it's saying, hey, you got to go activate your product licenses, which I'll do in a second. If I go back and I look at my site now, we'll go back and visit the live site. Nothing's changed, right? Except we've got a place for members now. Terms of service, it's added some additional menu items. There's even a news feed. So if I look at members, this is a member directory. I'm the only one here right now. If I look and see a news feed, this is just some news as to what's going on. So think of this as your own personal Facebook, right? Started to add it just because I activated the BuddyBoss platform. Let's go back now, go back to the dashboard, and here's the fun part. I have, in the appearance, I have themes, right? I uploaded a couple themes. One of them was the BuddyBoss theme. The other one was the BuddyBoss child theme. And this is the default one that's active right now, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and activate the child theme. So let's activate that. And now let's see what happens when I go to visit the website. I'm going to close this little intro. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go visit the site. And it's a little bit different. Not quite, but a little bit different. You can see at the top here, we've got a search, place for notifications, a shopping cart, and a place for me within a profile, account, timeline, notifications. But the site is a little bit different. So what happens from here? So what I'm going to do is we'll actually go back now and I'll switch out. We'll go back and switch out to the live feed, just my headshot. We'll put that live. Now I'm going to go in the background here, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to go put this here. I'm going to go in the background and we'll do a little bit of work in terms of licensing the site. So I'm going to go to the dashboard, working in the dashboard. I'm going to go in BuddyBoss products are almost ready. I'm going to go and activate my product licenses. And I'm going to, there's a way to auto connect there. And I'm going to auto connect. So this website's going to talk to the BuddyBoss servers, and it's saying, hey, BuddyBoss wants to take a look at your keys. Activated. They're all activated. So connect to BuddyBoss. My keys are in. I now have a fully licensed set of themes and platforms for BuddyBoss. I'm just going to go look at the site, make sure it's okay. Got my WordPress site. Everything is wonderful, except the site doesn't look great, even though we have BuddyBoss turned on. Now, I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to install some of the other plugins that I want to make this work well. And what are the ones that I want to do? Well, the first thing is I want to really make sure that this site ranks well in the search engine. So I'm going to put a SEO plugin on called Rank Math. The other thing I want to do is I want to know exactly what's happening in terms of the analytics and who's visiting the site, where are they coming from. Now, normally you can go and open up a Google account or a Google Analytics account, which you can still do. In my case, just to do it quickly, is I'm actually going to I'm going to use a plugin called Independent Analytics, which works directly in your WordPress site. It doesn't require a Google account. Keeps your analytics live directly within WordPress, so you own all of your data. The other thing that's happening in the background is I want to be able to capture some information, so I'm going to include some Fluent Forms tools, or ones from Fluent. There's Fluent Forms, there's Fluent SMTP that's going to send the emails out. I'm going to also add Fluent Support, which is a help desk for people. And I'm also going to add Fluent CRM. So there's a whole stack of Fluent tools. And what these are, they're just plugins that are specific to WordPress that work really, really well with BuddyBoss. And they allow us to keep a CRM or marketing automation on the site. They allow us to send emails. Instead of from SiteGround and from our own account, we're actually going to be sending our bulk emails using Amazon. And I'll show you where to set that up so that you actually have Amazon simple email service, which is highly deliverable, highly scalable. They'll be sending the emails. We're going to have a support desk built in. So you'll see there's a way to add agents. People can open tickets directly right within, and then forms. And the nice thing is that Fluent CRM, Fluent Forms, Fluent Help Desk, all of these allow you to use the exact same usernames, email addresses, names, and passwords from your WordPress site, from your community, and all of your marketing tools. So it's all in one place, and you're not using a whole bunch of third-party services to control some of that information. You're in control of everything. And again, this is one stack that you can use. It's not the only way to do it. It's just one way that works really, really well. So let's go back now, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and let me just make sure on this one here. I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and we'll make sure that I got the right tool showing in this case. And let's go there we go. Should go back to the desktop. And back to me in the desktop. This case, maybe just make it a little bit wider. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I need some more plugins. So let's go and install some. What are the ones that I want? Well, the first one that I want is I'm going to add a new one, and I'm going to use one called Rank Math. And again, Rank Math has a free version, which I'm going to install. There's other ones that are really, really good ones. Yoast is one. This one, all-in-one SEO plugin, is a nice one. Number of great tools. It really depends on how you want to work with that. In this case, I'm just going to got Rank Math SEO. That one is uploaded. Installs. I haven't made it active. I want to do another one, and that one is I want to be able to send emails in a way that they're highly deliverable or more likely to be delivered. And it really offloads the work from your hosting account, and it lets those emails and bulk emails be sent out by Amazon as opposed to you in the hosting form. So here we go. There's a bunch of Fluent ones, and I'm going to add them all in this case. So I've got install now, which is the contact forms. I'm going to put that one in and install it. I've got the Fluent SMTP, which allows us to send email in bulk from Amazon. And then I've got the Fluent CRM, which does our email marketing, automations, bulk emails, all tied into the website, and in fact, WooCommerce as well. So I'm going to install that one. And I also want to have a help desk. So I'm going to install Fluent Support. So now I've got a little bit more fleshed out here. What else do I need? Well, the Gutenberg or the default block editor that comes with WordPress now, not a fan. So one of the things that I do on a regular basis is I go, you know what? I'd really like a visual editor. The one that we use frequently, and most frequently, almost all the time, is Elementor. So I'm going to select Elementor, and that is the visual theme or page builder. That's there. Got that one installed. And again, we have developer licenses for these ones. So there's a number of tools that I'm not going to have the time to actually go and license the, well, maybe I might. How much time do we have left here? Oh, I've got time. I think I'll install the ones that add additional ones that are paid ones, because it is going to be a live site that we're going to be using. We've got those ones there. What are some other ones that I want to put in? Actually, let's go back and we'll take a look at the plugins now, see which ones we've installed, and we'll go and activate them. So activate Elementor, Fluent Forms, Fluent Support, Fluent CRM, Fluent SMTP. We got Rank Math. Those are the ones that are a good start. So let me just go and say activate. So I've activated those plugins, and they will now be active. And again, here's some additional stuff for Elementor. It goes through, create my account. I already have one. In this case, I'm going to connect one. What will I do here? Let's connect and see what happens. There we go. So it's connected and got all these themes here. I don't really want to do it, so I'm just going to go and close it. It's connected, but now I've actually got Elementor connected to the Elementor website or their dashboard, and that means that when I go to upgrade, it's already connected. So what I want to do here, first thing is, there's a couple things I want to do, and actually let's do this one just because I can, and I'm on a roll here with some of the plugins. I'm going to select plugins and add new, and let's do the I think it's Instant Analytics. If I got it wrong, Rank Math. There's a number of them here. Which one is the name of it? Maybe it's Independent. Can't remember. There we go, Independent Analytics. So I'm going to put that one in. I'm going to install that. So we have Analytics. The other one I just remembered is, we want to have podcasts, right? I think that one is called Seriously Simple. Nope. Want to be able to have some podcasts. There it is, Seriously Simple Podcasting. Sorry, I'm going to install that one. So that one's installed. What else do we need? Well, what else do we need? I'm just going to open these up again. Some of the ones we had. What are some of the ones that we had? So what else are the ones we have here? Just taking a look at this. Support desk, Castos. Castos is this one I just did. I'm not going to do a Vimeo count for doing those today. We have WooCommerce installed. Oh, there it is. We've got BuddyBoss installed. The thing I don't have is a gamification, right? There's two kind of main ones. One is called Badge OS, which is an older one. The one that's newer is called GamePress, so we'll put that one in as well. I put Elementor in for the editor. Convert Pro I haven't done for opt-ins. WordFence, I can put that one in as well here. Fluent Forms I put in. Oh, the calendar as well. So I think what we'll do is I'll use on this one I'll use the event calendar. Will I use that one? Yeah, I think I will. And Affiliate WP is the one. So I got Rank Math. So I got Affiliate WP, WordFence, and Convert Pro. So let's do those ones. Switch back here. What was the one that I just said? And I think Affiliate WP, that one is, Yeah, I think that one's a paid one. It's only available as a paid one now. Short codes affiliate WP. So just going to see if there's some additional ones there. Yeah, I think that one is paid now. Professional Plus and Personal. There we go. So not going to use that one yet. We'll come back to that one. Not the affiliates. Sorry, which is the other one that oh yeah, Convert Pro. WordFence. That's it in the calendar. Let's go and put WordFence in just to install it. WordFence is a great tool to stop people trying to hack your site by trying to log in with, testing usernames and passwords. That's a good one to have. So you can see there's two kind of available here. One is a security login, which is an additional one. We want this one here, which is WordFence Security Firewall, Malware Scan, and Login Security. So I'm just going to click Install Now. So that one's going to be installed. Now again, we had SiteGround has a built-in one that is similar. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Bottom line is you got to make sure that you're using one or the other. While I'm here too, you'll see there's another one called Updraft for doing backups. Same idea. If you're using SiteGround, there is a backup built into most of those accounts. Some of your hosts will. It's a good idea to put one like Updraft in again, which is another one that we recommend to allow you to have some manual control of the actual site. We've got those ones there, a couple more. What was the other ones we're going to put in? Yeah, we'll do Convert Pro in the calendar. So Modern Event Calendar is one that should show up here. There's a whole bunch of ones that you can use. The part that you have to play around with is getting these calendars to look the way that you want within the site. So on this one, Modern Event Calendar, is it where it's not showing up here right away? There's one of them, Event Espresso. I don't want to search around for it, so let's do this one today. And this one is the events calendar. Let me see if I can. There we go. The events calendar is right here. I just got rid of it. So I'm going to install that one as well. Now, the reason that you want to use calendars is if you're holding events or you're holding virtual calls, one of the things you can do is certainly use the events calendar, which is kind of neat. And let's go back to our plugins and see what we've got installed and see what we can turn on for our community. Now, we've been going about 45 minutes now. We don't really have a community yet, do we, or do we not? Let's find out. Independent Analytics, I'm going to go and activate that one. So we have that one available now. Let's go and allow to skip. I don't want them to see what's going on, so I'm just going to say skip in this case. Now I got live tracking of the site. Some of the other ones that I want to have active are, let's go back to the installed plugins. What else do I have here? Seriously Simple Podcasting. I'm going to select that one. The other one I have is the events calendar. I've got Updraft and WordFence Security. I'm not going to turn on the security ones yet, but we'll keep these ones for podcasting, backup restore on the events calendar, and I'm going to activate them. So they're activated. Wonderful. What happens now? Well, we're going to talk about the show. I'm going to skip the setup for now. We'll come back to that one. And again, these are things that can all be set up for you in terms of the player and what shows up, what doesn't show up. There's a whole bunch of additional settings for each of these. Now, the interesting thing is if you see on the left-hand side, there's now a whole bunch more menu items that weren't there necessarily, right? So Fluent CRM, BuddyBoss is there, Fluent Forms, our analytics, Fluent Support for our help desk, podcasting is there. We've got WooCommerce. We've got Elementor and all the Elementor templates. And then rank math is at the bottom. So these are all the tools and services that we've added for our community. And let's go see what it looks like. Has anything changed? Let's go find out. Going to look at the site here for a second. Nothing's changed. How come? What's going on? Well, let's go and fix that, shall we? Now, you can see right here, we got my WordPress site, which is just the name of the WordPress site. There's nothing here on the home page. And remember, when you have a home page in in WordPress, it's the blog, right? So if there's no blog post, nothing shows up here. On the sidebar, these are the default widgets that come with WordPress. This is the default footer that comes with WordPress. So we got to start playing around here. And I also said, I wanted to have a community, right? So I wanted to have discussion groups and a news feed like Facebook. I wanted to have courses, a calendar. I wanted people to be able to message each other, have member profiles, all of that great stuff. So where are they? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to BuddyBoss and I'm going to go to components. Now, why am I going to do that? At the start, there's only 2 real pieces that are made live. One is the member profile. You have to have a profile. If you're having a community, that one's required in stone. You can't take that one out. And you have to have profile fields so that you can have an actual profile. There's a first name, a last name, an email address, and a handle or a username that shows up on the site. Those are ones that come with it, but you want to be able to have those 2 in order to get started. You can see that account settings that allows people to modify their account is there. Notifications is active. So that means that if something happens that's pertaining to you, you're going to get a notification. But there's a whole bunch of stuff turned off. So let's make sure that we want some social groups, right? Yes, we do. We want to have some forums or forum discussions. Yes, we do. Now, we don't have to have these, but these are optional. We want people to upload media. So in this case, we're playing pickleball. I want people to be able to upload some pictures or create albums of what they're doing. Private messaging. I want people to be able to talk to each other, right? So that they're in a position where if they're in a new club or maybe they're visiting another city or they find someone who has been uploading or involved in the community, they want to reach out, say hello, not to everyone, but just to that person. Allow members to connect, yeah. Allow people to invite each other or invite people who are not members to come join. We're going to have moderation. We don't want people doing stuff that is against the rules that we make up, so we can allow moderations. And network search. I want to have it set up so that people can search the entire site, not just blog posts, for example. We want people to be able to search everything that goes on in the site. And click that one, and let's activate all of these and see what happens. So again, I'm going to click it. We're going to go and take a look at the site, and let's see what happens. Nothing's changed. There's a couple other things at the top here, but nothing's really changed, right? Or has it? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another open link in new tab. So I'm going to put another one here so that we can see it. So this one will make the site, and this one is the site, or sorry, the dashboard. So we'll make this one the dashboard. So I'm going to make changes in the dashboard, and I'm going to, hopefully they'll show up on the site. Now the thing to be aware, and this is something that can kind of throw you off, is SiteGround uses what's called caching with their hosting accounts. And what that means is, even though you make a change in the dashboard of WordPress and you go to look at it, it may not show up right away because SiteGround has said, oh, we have a page, we're going to keep it in a special file or folder and serve that to the person who's browsing the site instead of reading the database or going and checking for new changes on the site. So I may have to clear the cache on a regular basis, but we'll see what shows up here on the actual site. So I'm going to go, I got the dashboard. One other thing I just want to do to get rid of this little bit nagging here, remember we installed Fluent SMTP, Simple Mail Transport Protocol. That's the way that your website sends email. I said that we were going to use Amazon Web Services or the Simple Email Service. There are a whole bunch of other ones available here. I'm just going to use PHP, which is the standard one. And it's going to ask me, who do you want the mail sent from? Remember I said info@mypickleballfriends.com. And I'm going to put my name. Or maybe we'll just say, we're going to say Pickleball Friends as the actual from name. There we go, there we go, there we go. So I'm going to save those connections. So for now, it's just going to send from the server, and it's going to send from info at mypickleballfriends.com. So that's what's going to send by. Now there's a whole bunch of additional settings here, and in fact, we're not going to set them up today, but we use one again that's called Amazon Simple Email Service, or Amazon SES, and that'll help us get all of the emails that we're sending delivered properly. Let's go back to BuddyBoss again, and we've installed these components, which I'm going to come to, but the look hasn't changed. And why is that? Well, in the BuddyBoss menu, now that we've installed the BuddyBoss theme, there's another menu here that says theme options. So let's go take a look and see what's there. Ooh, how about that? Here's a whole bunch of options that are now available to us. And we'll go through these quickly. We've been going 50 minutes, so we'll go through these quickly just so that you can see what's going on with them. And let me just make sure. I want to make sure we're live on the other side here. Again, if there is any questions, anyone does have some questions, make sure to ask them. We've got some version 1, which is the original one. The current one here. Settings have changed. You should save them. I don't want to save them. We're going to use this version, or this look and feel, which is version 2. So buttons, forms, navigation is the new version. That's number 2. Logo. Remember I said we have a logo? Desktop logo. Which one do I want? I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to upload one. So let's take a look and upload one. And if I go take a look, we should have, I have to remember if we did a recent one here. Actually, let me cancel this one. And I think at the bottom here, did I have one here? I'm just trying to remember where I put them. Let's go take a look over in the Finder. And I think I had some. Yeah, there we go. So I have some here. Let's go take a look and drag one over. So got a whole bunch of files there. Let's just hide that one. I'm going to open up our upload files. Let's just make this a little bit smaller so we can see both screens at the same time. Didn't want to do that. Let's get the Finder again. Sorry, it's not letting me do that. How can I do that? Again, new Mac user, so let's see what the scoop is here. Let's go to the right, see if I can get that to go to the right. There we go. And what I want to do is I want to find those files here, and let's go to BuddyBoss, and I'm going to drag one of the logos that I have. So again, these are some of the logos that I had done up previously. Let me drag that one over and see what we've got. Pickleball Friends. So let's select that. There we go. Pickleball Friends, it's there. And again, I can change the size here based on what I want. We'll do 175. Mobile logo I'm not going to do right now. Destinations where people will go if they click on them. A site icon. We've got additional ones that I put in here. I'm just not going to play around with those yet. But you can see now that I've got the logo that's there. Now, colors. This is where we can talk about colors. This is the branding colors. This is where you adjust them. I'm not going to do that. We'll use the default ones. Typography. So there's some default fonts that are set up in sizes. We can play around with that there. Header. There we go. So for the desktop, there's a desktop and a mobile that are available to us. In this case, there's some different styles of headers. The one that I like is this one here, which is the logo and then a menu. And then it's got some of the options that are available here, the search, your inbox, any notifications, shopping cart, your profile. That's the one I'll use. Some people use one which is just the search, right? They'll use that search one. I'm going to select that one. Menu style, okay? Standard or a tab bar. Again, if you're going to be mobile heavy, one of the things that the tab bar is it's basically just icons as opposed to words. So if you think people are looking more on a tablet as opposed to a wide screen as an example, you might want to use the tab bar. Or if you have a lot of menu items and 5, 6, 7 menu items, it may get too wide for the screen, you can go to the tab bar. I'm just going to keep it at standard. And you can see there's the search, messages, notifications, and shopping cart. These ones here can be turned on and off. I'm going to keep them all available. And my profile drop down. See over here on the right-hand corner, there's that little header style there. It says got a profile and the epsilon for the 3 dots. I'm going to have my name show up and the avatar. I can turn it off or just have the avatar. And in this case, I'm going to save some changes. There we go. So let's go take a look and see what happened on the site. And I'm going to refresh it. And you can see now it's got my name, the profile, and Pickleball Friends is now there. So my logo has been replaced. Where's the rest of it though? Where's the rest of it? Let's go back and see. So got the header, sidebars, footer, login registration. We've got some additional pieces here. The one that I'm interested in is like, where is the menus? Where are the menus available? These use a whole bunch of menus. One is called a buddy panel, which actually shows up on the left and right of the site when you're looking at it, when people are logged in. In this case, what I want to do is I'm going to go to the menus and I want to add some menu items to my site, my community. So where am I going to add them? First thing I'm going to go is I'm going to go to, I can go to, at the bottom left-hand side here, I can go to Appearance and select Menus. That's one way to do it. I can also go up to the WordPress menu dashboard that's at the top here. And let me just go this one here. Let's go and look at the site. The other way you can find it is in, if you're looking at the site, you can select Menus here as well. So I'm just going to go here. We'll go down and pick Menus from the Appearance menu. And let's see what we've got. So we don't have any menus, right? So why don't we do one? And we're going to give our first menu, we're going to go, I'm just going to call it main menu. Okay. And what do we need to do? Automatically add top level pages? No, we're not going to do that necessarily. What I want to do is we can either select a bunch of BuddyBoss options that are available here. No, I don't want to necessarily do that. These ones are personal ones. I want to go to Pages. And if we take a look at Pages, and again, these are default options for menus here in WordPress. If you ever get stuck with menus or things aren't showing up that you think should, make sure to go to the upper right-hand side here where it says Screen Options as an example. And it will allow you to select which menu items show up. So I don't want products to show up. I don't want landing pages to show up. I don't want episodes to show up. I don't want formats to show up. I don't want product tags or product categories to show up in this case. And I do want to do link targets. And I'm going to do screen options. And now you're going to see that when I refresh the page, a lot of these are going to be missing. Let's just create the menu first. And I want to add some pages to that top menu. Well, what am I going to do? I want to be able to see the groups that are available. I want to be able to see the members. I want to be able to see a news feed, right? I want to be able to see the activities that are going on. And I want to see some discussion forums. So I'm going to click Add to Menu. And in this case, I'm going to go, I want news feeds first. And I want to see any of the social groups. and I want to see a directory of members and then perhaps any discussion. So let's go and save those and go see what's happened on the site. In this case, let's make this full screen as well. There we go. So I'm going to open up the site again, refresh the page. How come it didn't show up? Well, because we didn't assign a location to that. So let's go, we've saved a menu. Let's go to Manage Locations. And we want to look at the header menu for logged in users in this case. And I'm going to say Main. And I'm going to have the same menu for logged out users. So I'm going to select Main, and then let's save some changes. And when we go back to the site, what are we going to see? I'm going to refresh the screen again. Shazam! I now have a news feed, part of my community. There we go. Nothing going on here. I've got groups. Nothing going on there. I've got no members. One member, just me. And I've got my forum, which is there. So pieces are here. I'm just starting to add them. Now, just to help out, one of the things I'm going to do is BuddyBoss allows you to add some temporary users just so that you can see how things work. So in my case, I'm going to go back here and we're going to go to BuddyBoss at the top here, and I'm going to go to Settings. And in this case, you can see that there's a whole bunch of options available to us, from the components that we used, from the pages that we set up for members, for videos, photos, documents, forums. These ones were all created for us. We've got some registration pages and forms available to us. We're not going to get into those ones today, but in the settings, integrations and tools, there's one that's kind of interesting here, and that is, do you want to import data, default data? One of the things we can do is we can import some members with all of the details. So this is going to show us some test members on how things work. And the nice thing about this is that we're going to be able to install them, but what we can do after is remove them. So this isn't something that is permanent. It just allows us to Action is going to alter your database. It's live website, create a backup of your database first. So I'm just going to click yes, because this is an early one. We're just playing around with it. And we're going to see that we now have some members, some activity, some forum discussions, some groups available to us. There's lots going to be going on. So this is all running in the background. Hopefully we'll get this set up for us quickly and see what's available. 11 members, profile fields. This was all added in the background. So let's go take a look and see what happens at our site now. So I'm going to refresh it. No results found, but if I go look at groups, I also now have a whole bunch of groups in my community. So I can take a look, and I've got private groups, public groups. I've even got some hidden groups here that will show you, but in this case, I'm a nature lover, so I want to go look at it. There's my group. I can join it if I want. And in this case, Trent is the organizer. And these are all of the members already. So you can see that we've just added some information. You can start to look and see how this shows up for people. But more importantly, we've now got all sorts of groups. If we go take a look at members, you'll see that all of the members are now available as well. These are test members. If we go to forums, you're going to see that there's a number of discussion forums. And in fact, some of these are actually connected to the groups, because this is the Coffee Addicts group, but there's a discussion board directly within it. I've also got a live news feed, so anything that happens on the site starts showing up here, exactly like you would see on Facebook. So there's just some examples of how the community can actually be set up. Probably the interesting thing for a lot of people now is they're going, okay, great. How do I customize this a bit more? How do I customize it for myself? Well, let's go take a look at how me as a user, a member, can start playing around with this. So I'm putting my mouse over top. I don't want my email showing, right? I don't want that to show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at my profile. This is my personal profile. And you can see I've got background to my profile. I've got a headshot, and I've got my names here. So anytime you can change the cover photo just by holding it over top of these. And I've also got my first name and nickname, which I want to edit because my first name is not my email address. And my nickname, I'm going to say James. I'm going to save it. Now, when people register, it's going to work a little bit better. In my case, you can see James. It now shows up as James. My email address doesn't show up anymore, right? And some default data. Paragraph text. It's like, what's the information that I want there? These are some tests that are examples of just how it works. And the first thing that most people do is they'll add some profiles for your social media profiles. Or the administrator will do that. And I want to see everyone else's social media profile, so I'm going to go back in as the administrator here. And I'm going to go into, in this case, I'm going to go into, we can go into profiles directly. On the left-hand side, you can see it says profiles. What I want to do is in the details, I'm going to add some new fields. Now, the interesting thing is with these details here is if you're going to use the default way to register in the community, which in my case I am, I don't want to have to ask people to fill in their social media profiles when they first sign up. I want them to be able to do it after. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another field set. And in this case, for now, I'm going to call it social, and we'll call it links to I'm going to say this is just a description, links to your social media profiles. So in this case, I'm just going to go and click save. So this allows people to do a couple things. One is I've got details, default data, and social. Default data, in my case, I had paragraph text, numbers, some examples. I don't want that one, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Now I just have social there, and I want to add some new fields. Which are the important ones here? Well, if I'm doing social, I want people's social media profile. So I'm going to change the type here of fields, and I'm going to change it to social networks. And in this case, I'm going to give it a title. So this is just a little prompt. It says, where can it be found on social media? And some instructions. So I'm going to say, add the links to make sure I spell it correctly. And I want to add some social networks. So what are the ones I want to add? It comes up with 3 default ones. What we're going to do is we'll add another one, and this one's going to be Instagram. And another one I want is Pinterest. Maybe I have some pictures there. Another one I want is there's Snapchat, Twitch, Tumblr, WhatsApp, YouTube, whole bunch of them that are there. So I'm just going to save that. A couple of things that are interesting here. We've got requirement, it's optional. That means they don't have to fill it in. And visibility is public. And that means that people can fill it in, but allow people to say, I only want all members to see it, or only my connections, or only me. So we're allowing people to override the settings and have it that way. So social networks, I've got the ones I want here, and I'm going to click update. So my profiles are starting to work, right? I've got information that's here. I've got my username, when I joined, whether I'm online or not. So let's go take a look and just refresh this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it now. I'm going to say, okay, great. Let's go and edit my details. Let's go edit my profile. And you can see now there's one called social. So in this case, I'm going to say, what's your Twitter account? There it is there. YouTube. And I'm going to save these ones. Now, when these are saved, I don't have to fill in all of them, but if I go look at my profile now, you're going to see that I now have some of my social media profiles here. So we're starting to fill stuff out here. I've got a whole bunch of members that have been added. I have news feeds, I have groups, I have members, I have forums, I have my ability to create my own profile and edit my profile. I've got WooCommerce installed. Right now, the real thing or the real work that has to happen is going through and making sure that the settings are set up here for the community. And is there any questions here? I don't think so. So we'll continue moving on with this one. I've got, let's take a look at the general settings. Allow people to delete their profiles. Again, totally up to you. Whether or not the menu show in. Registrations. So this one is allow non-members to register new accounts. I don't want that to happen. I do want that to happen. So what happens is that in this particular case, it's like someone can come and register for the site, right? And we're using the default BuddyBoss registration. There's a whole bunch of additional ways to do it. But in this case, I'm just leaving it blank with the BuddyBoss registration. You'll see how that works. I can make it private. So there's some additional pieces that are available there. In my case, we're not going to make any changes there. For profiles, let's go look at the settings there. Display the name format. So I can just say nickname. So that's the one that shows up. First name, last name, and nickname shows up. So I'm going to go and save that. The profile links. I can have a unique identifier, which is a number or a username. I want people to say my pickleballfriends.com username is, and you can see that's how it's going to show up in the URL. Profile images. I can do a custom one, legacy or BuddyBoss ones. We're going to allow people to upload an avatar, and we can let people use Gravatar instead of the built-in one. We can have a default background image that's there, cover size width and small, and we can make it larger, for example, and full width, which goes across. Profile headers, left, right, or center. And again, these are some of the things that I showed at the start, right? What social networks, when were they last active, that stuff's there. For the member directory, I can decide whether or not it will have grids or a list. Primary action, don't have to worry about that. Profile types I don't want. Profile search. So what this means is that if someone, remember I had that site-wide search, this one says if I select this, that means that people will, if they do a search for a name, for example, it'll list up in the profile. So I'm just going to click savings to do that. That part saved. Groups. Enable social group creation by members. I want to do this. I want people to be able to do that. Allow sending group messages to group members. That one I'm going to keep off for now until we get things going. That allows someone who's the moderator for a group to send a message to all of the people in the group. That can get out of hand pretty quickly, so you have to be careful. Allow members to subscribe to groups. So that one, it's not an invite only. Anyone can subscribe to a group. That's what we've got set up. Group images, avatars, cover images, width defaults, all of that stuff. I'm going to do that full width and keep that small. Preview image, that's what it's looking like. Headers, do I want it left, right, or centered for the groups? And what I want to have show up, we'll leave that there. Directories, left, right, and center again. I've got everything on. Group types, we're not going to do. I'm not going to have subgroups at this thing. I'm just going to have straight groups. But if I wanted to have a group and then a listing of groups under that group, that's where I would allow it. Create groups. Which members should be allowed? For this one, I'm not going to have any kinds of levels in the site. I'm just going to have people who want to create a group are available there. I'm going to save settings just to make sure we've got some changes there. Got those done. Forums, same idea. Disable editing, forum features, all of the different things you would think in a forum are there. Nested threads. Allow social groups to have their own forums. Remember when I showed you that one forum earlier? When I clicked forum up at the menus, it went to a group. That's because that forum was associated with a group. We also have a forums page, which is the one that allows us to have all of the forums, whether they're in a group or not, be available on a page. So we set that one up. Permalinks. This is where, for example, if I want to have an individual forum have a URL, this is the page that it will be on. Permalinks, replies, and again, these ones are all pretty standard ones that we can get to in a bit more information. Another session. So activity, let me do this one as activity just to give you an idea, because this one's important. So this is that news feed, similar to Facebook. This is that news feed up at the start here, which we've got called news feed. These are all of the things that are showing up. For example, like it just says James updated his profile 10 minutes ago. Remember I updated my profile? The activity feed shows that. So I'm just going to click like. And I can put more changes coming. If I want to, in this case, I can attach a photo. There we go, that's done. But that's the news feed, right? What do we want to have show up here, and how long do we want people to be able to edit things? Auto refresh, allowing members to like each other's posts. Again, follows, activity tabs, we're just going to say allow people to follow. We're going to show, if someone puts in a URL or a website, we're going to allow it to show. And this one is similar to Facebook in the end, which is relevant activity. When the site gets larger, it starts to show activity posts from when they're logged in. It'll show it from their connected friends or their friends or people that they follow. Not everyone. So if there's 10,000 members in a year, or whatever, how long it takes to build it out, you don't want to see the activity feed from 10,000 people, right? You only want to see it from people you're friends with or you're connected with. So restrict the activity to only posts. I'm just going to keep that one open for now. This is the other one that's interesting is these are, for example, the stuff that shows up in the feed. Now, these are the default ones, but if you want that activity feed to show when there's a new blog post, we could select that. We don't want the comments from the blog posts there. And I also want products to show up. So if we add a new products, custom post types, we want that one there. Episodes, if there's a new podcast. And we'll keep podcastings there. Templates and landing pages, not interested. Activity posts, select which member should have access. It's not going to make any changes because we're leaving it the same. So I'm just going to click save. And we're there. Media, which is stuff you want them to allow them to upload or not upload, and what size you want. And members to upload photos and private messages. We're going to put that one in. What kind of documents? Where can they put documents? We'll allow it in groups. We'll put it in profiles, messages, forums, and we can set some upload sizes, for example. In this case, that's quite a bit. So I'm going to say, I don't want big ones. We'll just do ones set there. File extensions, videos. We want people to upload videos. We're not going to let people upload videos. In this case, I want to make sure that they're putting links to videos and not the actual videos. I don't want that to happen. And emojis. Yeah, we'll allow emojis. Animated GIFs. Because it's a community, we'll do that. I don't have a Giphy key, so we'll have to add that. Media access, we're going to leave it blank so everyone can. Security and performance, again, these are some server settings we'll have to work on. There we go. Connections, invites, moderation, these are some of the ones that are all here. I do want to show you a couple little things. I'm going to go to tools. One of the things I made a change, it said you got to repair community. So I'm just going to click repair community. And I can't remember which one it was, but we'll select all of them today. I think it was the profiles, because I updated the profiles. Remember what said a username or a first name and last name. What do I wanted to show up as the link to the person's profile? There we go. So I'm just going to repair items. So it's going to go through and repair all these. So you can see what's happening is we've actually got a community built out now. What we're really doing is changing the way that it looks. And for us to continue with this, let me just go and we'll go take a look at, go back to the live feed here for a minute. So the community is starting to be built out. We've got the components in place. What we're really now doing is starting to change the way that it looks. We've added SEO tools. We've added a thing for podcasts. We've added a thing for events, which I haven't showed you yet. LearnDash I didn't install, but that's another thing that we can install quickly here. I'll put that in the background so that we have courses and the calendar. And we've got now the basis of a site waiting for content. And again, that's content that is user-generated content for people uploading, making friends, commenting with each other, getting involved in discussions with other members, creating groups. And then there's things like blog posts. You can still make blog posts. You can also go and add podcasts and add them to your site. So there's content you can start adding, and there's content that your group can start, your community can start adding. Now I will show you a couple things just before we end, because I've been going an hour and a half here, hour and 22 minutes. So I'm going to continue to kind of build this out. It's a project that we're building on. What I will do beforehand is I'll show you how people register, and I'll also show you how the courses and the calendars fit in. And then we'll start building out the look and feel of the site. The one other thing I will show you too is a homepage, because right now it's the default homepage that comes with WordPress, which is blog posts, and I don't have any blog posts, right? So I want to make sure that that I can get that working properly. In the background, while this was being updated, the repair community part, which is all done, I'm going to go and I'm going to install LearnDash, which is my LMS for courses. I'm going to install that one, and then we'll fix the menu so that the calendar shows up and the courses show up and the homepage, and then we'll call it a day for this session. So let me go to, I'm working in the background here, and again, I'm putting a live key in here so I don't want to muck stuff up. I'm going to add a new plugin, and this one is going to be, I'm going to select LearnDash, which is another one of our common ones. So that one's going to be installed, and I'll activate that one as well. So I've now got a place for my courses. And let that get activated. I'm not going to use the setup wizard. Okay, there we go. So configure payments. And again, we're not going to use this one completely, but in my case, what I want to do is, okay, we'll come back to this one. Okay, so I got LearnDash installed. Let's take a look and see how that works. And also, the other thing we have is I'm going to take a look at the calendars, add some menu items to that so that they're available. Again, if there are any questions, make sure to ask them, and I'll put anything down as well in the comments below, so some additional links and stuff that are available to you. So what do we got here? Let's take a look for, go and take a look back live here, and we'll go back to my fancy face and the background. So what do we got here? News feed. We've got courses. Let's go to the news feed, and I'll refresh this. Now you see we've got news feed, groups, members, and forums. Where are the courses and where is the calendar? Well, let's go take a look. If I actually change this, the page here, I installed LearnDash in the background. So if I just go /courses, you'll actually see that Learn Dash is already there, but I don't have any courses. Okay. I want to have a menu item for courses, so we'll add one in a second. The other one is the events calendar. Where are my events? So let's go to the dashboard again, and I'm going to go to, on this case, make sure it's installed. Where's that one? I can't remember where that, BuddyBoss, Fluent Forums, Analytics, Post, Podcast, Media. There should be one here called, let's double check and make sure it's turned on. The events calendar, it's not, so I'm going to go and activate that one. So we're going to have events, or a calendar for events, and let's just go look quickly how that one works. And again, we're not getting into any details here. I'm just going to skip this particular piece. We'll go to configure settings for quick links. We've got a place for license. This is the important one. It says events. So that means that this is the URL, events, and include the main logo. Plus, I don't want to do that yet. I want to do maintenance disabled, debug mode, opt-in 10 minutes. That one's all done. So I'm just going to go save. So I know that's on the events page. It's built in. It's got the events page. It's there. I want to set the display at the start, and I can have it. They have some default styles and a skeleton styles. We'll keep it at the default one, and it's going to give us the option of list, month, or day. The Pro version allows you for some other ones, and we're going to show a list one to start off, and it's going to show month view is going to show events per day. So we got 12 in total, no comments. The other thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we use the time, enter time zone mode, and this one shows time zone. I think I will end up using this one, events in numerous different time zones. So I'm going to be able to put that one in. Time zone mode, use manual time zones for each event, use the site-wide time zones everywhere. And I'm going to leave that one there, and it should automatically change based on where people are. I don't want to put a header and a footer yet. I'm going to click Save Changes. And if we go to my site and I do /events, we should see the calendar page there with no upcoming events. So let's add some calendar items there, right? So I'm going to go back here. We're going to go to Settings. I'm going to go to Appearance on the left-hand side, and we'll select Menus. And in my menus, the main menus are what I'm working on. You can see we have News Feed, Groups, Members, and Forums. I want to add some, right? What are some of the ones that I want to add? You can see there's a whole bunch of additional ones that are here still. And I thought I turned those off. So let's see if... don't know why those didn't save, but we'll find out. There's too many going on. Which ones do I want? Course tags, lesson categories. I don't want these menu items to show up or give me the ability to pick them. I don't want to do that. Groups and events. I don't want menu items there. Not for courses, don't really need it. Not for landing pages. So let's see if I do those ones. I should be able to save those ones. They should be there. Okay, so let's go and take a look now. Most recent pages. Terms of service, members, there's a whole bunch of ones that are there. Let's do a view all. You can see the other menu items moved, right? The ones that were all there, they got removed. So I'm going to do view all, and we've got home, cart, checkout, members, sample page, terms of service, and video. So these are all of the ones that are there. But in this case, what I want to do is I want to make sure, let me just see if we've got events, if that shows up here. Doesn't show as a page there, and it's a default page. So that one's in forums. Maybe it's in forums, and that's not the one I want. This is what I normally do personally for custom links is instead of this, I'll just put events. So /events, and I'm going to give it, click that one, add it to the menu. And the other one I'm going to do is courses. And add it to the menu. So those are custom ones. And we'll leave that one there. Those are in the right place. So I'm just going to go save menu. And let's see what happens. If I go back now to my site, I'm just going to click Pickleball Friends. I'll go back to my empty home page. And you can see I now have groups, members, courses, events, and forums. So I've got all of the pieces for the community. The one thing I don't have is a home page. So let's go and make one that looks kind of nice and changes things up a little bit better. We're getting close there. I'm going to go, first thing I'm going to do is I didn't make any changes to the actual WordPress install. So let's go take a look at the default WordPress settings. So if I just go to the settings menu, the admin, I go to general, and I don't want it to say site title. So it's a community for pickleball fanatics. I've got my HTTP. If I want this to be secure, I'm going to change it to HTTPS. I don't want to log in again for this. Administration email is there. I'm going to allow people to register, which is the other part. Time zone, I'm in Eastern. So I think that one, Atlantic, where's North American? There should be one here for, let's do Toronto. Where I am, Eastern time zone. Week starts on Monday. I'm going to save that. So there's a couple things that have changed and been updated. Now, what about some of the other settings? Writing. Default categories, standard posts. These are things I haven't done yet. Reading. Now, right now, the home page is the latest posts. Do I have some options here if I go to a static page? Not really, but in my case, what I want to do is blog posts. There's nothing there set up. What I want to do is, let me just save this. We'll come back to it. I want a home page or a dashboard, right, that people can use or sign up with. In my case, I'm just going to have basically a dashboard that allows people to see what's going on. And let me just do this one. Permalinks, make sure we have some permalinks. If you don't know what permalinks are, they're the ones that allow, instead of having numbers and all sorts of question marks and equal signs, it allows you to have a good looking URL for the site. We don't need any other changes there for now, so I'm just going to make sure that gets saved. And what do we got here? I don't want to sell tickets at this point yet. So I got that part done. Permalinks, privacy, Fluent SMTP is there. We've already set up. So we got some more stuff set up. It's that home page that's really a muck up, right? And in my case, there's a couple things that we can do. And I'm going to show you one. I'm going to show you two just because I'm on a roll here. So here's the first one just to consider. I want to have a dashboard for my users when they're logged in, excuse me. And I want a home page that is one that people can see if they're just new to the site and they're not even a user yet. So we're going to have, let's do the first thing. I'm going to go and I'm going to do or create a new page. So I'm logged in as administrator. The reason I'm showing you this is because the BuddyBoss theme also comes with some interesting, let's say dashboard, and this one, let me just publish this one just so that we have it. It's now a page, and I'm going to get rid of that, and it's now called, over on the right, you can see it's mypickleballfriends.com/dashboard, right? So if I go back and I take a look at dashboard, we're just going to change the URL to dashboard, because I don't have a menu link to it yet, right? So there's the dashboard is just empty. So let's go and take a look what happens if I say edit with Elementor. Now this is kind of cool. This is the BuddyBoss theme. It allows us to have a quick and easy way to create a dashboard. Here's some instructions the first time that you get into Elementor. But in my case, I want to use a pre-done page. And you'll notice in Elementor, normally there's just the pink plus and the folder. Those are the default ones with Elementor by itself. But this one has a little BB, orange BB, for BuddyBoss. So I'm going to click that. And there's some BuddyBoss templates available to us. So what happens here? Let's take a look. I've got all of these sections I can use. But if I also look at the top here, there's one called Pages. And interestingly enough, in Pages, there's one called Dashboard. So let's insert that one. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to have a user dashboard. It's also got my name in it, links to discussion boards, forums, social groups, activities. It's even got my courses, where I did discussions in the forums, what's going on, all of the members, everything is there. So pretty cool. That one's there. I'm going to click update at the bottom just to update this page. And let's go and see what happens when I go to view the page. I'm exiting. We should see a dashboard page. Oh, and it didn't let me do it yet. Now the reason it didn't is because I was in a bit of a hurry and I didn't make any edits to it. So let's try this again. We'll open it up, select the page template. It's asked me to make some changes before it can be saved. I didn't make any changes. So I'm going to insert this. Member dashboard. What do I want to do here? So I just changed my courses here and I put it to continue learning pickleball. And again, I can go and change all of these with Elementor. And this is the default page that is created. And I would go through here and select each of these columns or remove them. We'll do that in another video. And you can see that if I select edit, it gives me a whole bunch of options that are available for each of these. But in my case, I'm just going to save it. And I'm going, wow, that's great. What do I have now? If I go back and I take a look at the page, which I had as dashboard, if I refresh it, watch what happens. I now have a dashboard. Okay, so that's Elementor and a built-in BuddyBoss theme template for a page called Dashboard. So this is perfect for getting us set up. I want to make one other change here. I don't need the word dashboard, so I'm going to go back to Edit Dashboard Page. And I'm going to exit this page, exit the builder. And where do I go after this? Let's go to, we'll just go to this post and apply it and leave, see what happens. It should go to edit the page. Okay, so here's the interesting thing now. And if you haven't used Elementor before, one of the things that you can do is on the right-hand side, you'll see there's some other options here. A featured image, which I don't need. Discussions, which I don't need. A lot of comments, no. Page attributes, parent page. Now, one of the other ones you might want to do is no blocks, no pages. I might want to go and see which editor is, but I also might want to use preferences. What do I want to show up in the panels? Custom fields. Where is that again? I have to remember. Keyboard short tools, manage use of blocks, code editor, calmness, full screen mode, spotlight, top toolbar. Template. Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry. One of the things I want to do is I don't want that dashboard to show up. So in template here, the default template shows the title. I don't want that. So I have the choice be doing the theme or full screen page, no sidebar, Elementor full width, or Elementor canvas. And Elementor canvas, what it does is it leaves the header, it leaves the footer, but it won't show this one. So I'm just going to do Elementor canvas, and I'm going to update. And you'll see when we look at this again, that word dashboard will not be there. I'm going to refresh it. It's gone. Okay, so that's much more cleaned up. And it got rid of the menu, so I probably saved the wrong one. So let's keep the headers and footers in. And I'll keep this one for here. Now, we haven't set headers and footers, so that one doesn't show up properly. My apologies. Headers and footers is another day. What did I do wrong here? Let's try this one more time. See, not everyone's perfect with these, and I forgot what happened. So let's do this. Elementor canvas, Elementor full width. Did I do the wrong one? I think so. Yeah, canvas is all of it. Full width is just the width of it with the header and footer. My apologies, had those mixed up. Got that one there. And what do we got? Okay. Dashboard's gone. Now I've got it right. So I need a dashboard menu up here, and I also need a place that is the home page for this. So let's go and take a look for menus. And I want to add the menu dashboard. It's asking me again for password. And let's try this one now. Now this is probably because I made some changes to the settings. It's asking me to log in again. Again, this is the one that I created earlier. One pass should ask me to do it. Cookies are blocked. I must say about cookies WordPress. There we go. We're logged in again. Sorry. Actually, while we're doing this, I should do this too. I'm just going to go to settings again. Just because I logged in one more time, we're going to change this to HTTPS. I'm going to save it. It's going to ask me to log in again, and that's okay. So you can now see that we've got the little on the little lockbox here. That means it's HTTPS, which means that it's secure. The site is secure. We've fixed that one up. I want to go to the menu, so we'll just fix that menu up to menus. We want to add the dashboard, right? And I should have one called dashboard. Lets me know it's an Elementor page. I'm going to add it to the menu. And I want it to be the first one, so I'm just going to drag that one up. I want to make sure that I save the changes to the menu. And we've now got a dashboard. Okay, so what's happening? Let's visit the site. Dashboard. It's there. It shows what's going on, but I still have a wanky home page, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the news feed. And you can see the news feed. It just shows what's going on in the site, right? So I have a couple options for having people register. I can actually close the site down so that people, when they go to the page, they only have the option of creating a username and password. The other thing I can do is I can keep the site open so people can see what are going on. But if they want to become involved, they've got to register a username and password. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you one way of having an open site. Another time we'll show you how to close down the BuddyBoss site. But in this case, I want this news feed to be the page that's the home page. But I want it to look a little bit nicer. So I'm going to go to widgets here. I'm going to close this up. And I have a blog sidebar, which is some information, a page sidebar, and then I have the activity pages. So on the right hand, what I want to do is I want to start adding some additional widgets to the sidebar. So what I can do on this one is I can put in, for example, what else can I put? We can put calendar item. Do I want calendar item? We'll put calendar item here. So we've got some calendar items. We've got some colors, what shows up there, whether it's small or large, if it's a different category, but there's some calendar items that are going to show up there. The other thing we can do is, let's go take a look, and I can put, in this case, let's browse all again. I can go and say, well, what else do I have here? We got text, media, I've got widgets, I've got some older ones, legacy ones, I've got some theme ones. So I can also put a log in and log out widget. So if people aren't logged in or logged out, they could. Again, these are just examples. I could put any additional ones that are available to me here. I can put what are some additional ones we could use here? Certificates, some LearnDash ones, WooCommerce, some products. There's a whole bunch there. Let me just see if we've got a podcast list, recent episodes. I can put that one there, for example. If I had some podcasts, I can also do events lister there. What are some other ones? So the idea here is we can go and add some additional pieces that are on the right-hand side, and I'm going to click Update. And in this case, what should happen is if I go take a look at the site now, and I look at that news page, you're going to see that I now have some stuff on the sidebar here. So this allows us to actually update the activity page, putting some additional material that's there. And in my case, what I want to do is I want to have this as the home page and start filling out the home page. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go back to the settings as the administrator. And I want to go to reading. And remember, it was just the blog page. I want the home page to be a static page, which is newsfeed. I'm going to click Save Changes. And now what happens if I go to Pickleball Friends and I hit it, what's going to happen is the news feed is the home page. So if anyone comes to the site, they're going to see this particular page. It's just the news feed. And again, we can fill this out as we start moving around and adding more additional content like the courses. If someone logs in, they're still going to be brought to the dashboard. But I don't want to show the dashboard if someone's not logged in, right? So it's open right now. So I'm going to have people go to the news feed to start off with. And if they aren't registered, let's say, for example, they haven't registered yet, I'm just going to copy this URL. We'll open up another browser tab where I'm not logged in. And in this case, I'm just going to hit paste and go. And you can see that, what do we got here? The caching page is there. So it's not showing up because SiteGround has stuff blocked. So what I'm going to do is we'll just go to, on this one, let's go to speed. I'm in SiteGround again, caching. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that all the caching is turned off. And I want to clean that, flush it out. Remember I talked about this earlier, and just make sure everything's flushed. And all I've done is I went to SiteGround, the host, and I said, you know what? Don't try and make it fast yet. Make it so all the changes show up. So that's what's going on there. Let's go and take a look at my WordPress site again and see if the cache is freed up. There we go. So now it goes to my Pickleball Friends. That's where the news feed is. Option to log in, log out. Now, there's one other piece here that I haven't shown you, and that is what happens when someone tries to register. And they can either sign in if they have a username and password, or they can sign up. Now, if someone goes to the sign up, this is just a default WordPress sign up, right? My Pickleball Friends, create an account or sign in. It's going to ask for an email address, a password, first name, last name, and a nickname. And again, remember I said in the profile, these are kind of the basics. But what about it if I want to actually make this look a little bit nicer? How can I do that? Well, let's pull this to the side for a second. I'm going to go to My Pickleball Friends. And in this case, I'm going to go back to the theme. And the BuddyBoss theme, again, BuddyBoss menu down near the bottom, it's theme options. I'm going to select that. And you'll see that there's one of the menus and it's called login and registration. So if I click on that, we've got custom login screen, custom logo, and custom background. So I'm going to click that one there, and I'm going to, let's see if I can upload one that I had handy. Which one is it there? Just looking for the one that I had. Where's that little logo? I'm cheating here. There we go. Let's see if I have one here that I can use that's a little bit smaller. And I'll open this up so we can see what they look like. There's a little one there that we might be able to use, or this one here. Let's see if I can use that one, if those fit the way that I want them to fit. So I'm going to minimize this, and what we're going to do is, I hate when it does that. So I'm just going to go and we're going to copy this one. How do I do that? New Mac user here, so struggling a little bit. Let me try this. Minimize that one. We're going to put this to the right. And hopefully I'll be able to drag that other one up, which is here. And yeah, let's drag that and see if it's just a little one. I don't think that one has the, there it is. It's just a small one. So I'm going to click select. So now I have this little custom logo that's there. And I'm going to click save. And let's go take a look and see what that looks like. If I go over to, back to my page that was the incognito one, you can see there's no logo, so I'm just going to refresh it. And of course it's not showing anything because the cache is mucked up. So normally what happens is it'll end up showing up here. There's one other change I'll try and get to quickly here just so that you see what happens, and then we'll try and do it. Custom background. So I can make this look a little bit nicer. And in this case, we'll click upload. I don't have any great pictures. I'll try one more. Just looking for one in a background that I can use. Just seeing if we have one that we're not sure what this one is, so let's take a look and see what that one is. That might be a background picture that we can, yeah, so there's someone playing pickleball, right? So I'm going to select that one. There's my background picture. I can put a custom heading here. Custom text. And I can have the overlay opacity to make it look darker or lighter. We'll save changes. And I will go to SiteGround here and flush the cache again, just so that it's flushed. And hopefully when we go over to create an account now and do a quick refresh, there we go. So you can now see I have a nice registration. So we can dress this up a little bit, make it look nice, but this is what happens when someone goes to register. They can see a nice page, create their information, and create an account. If they haven't registered and they're just visiting, they're going to see something along the lines of this. Okay, you can search through, click on stuff, go see who other users are. But if they want to join the community, they're going to have to go and sign up and create an account. So what have we got here at the end here? I've been going, actually I usually go an hour. I went 2 hours because I've kind of explained what I was doing. But at the end of the day, if you think about it and take a look in the big picture, what have we actually got going? This is what we actually have going. I created a WordPress site. I installed a whole bunch of plugins and a theme. And the base of this whole community is the BuddyBoss platform and the BuddyBoss theme. So the BuddyBoss platform allows us to have that community with things like social groups, messaging, member profiles, discussion forums, activity feeds. That's what the platform does. The BuddyBoss theme allows us to dress it up and make it look good. The other plugins we put in were an SEO plugin, Rank Math. We put a podcasting plugin because we're going to be doing some podcasts. We put an event calendar in so we can have events and allow members to post events maybe in the future. We put LearnDash in for courses. We also put in Updraft for doing backups. We did WordFence for security. And those are just some of the pieces. But at the end of the day, technically right now, I can have people register for the site and start getting involved in the community. Now, of course, I want to fix it up some more. I want to make sure all the branding's there. I'm going to fine tune and tweak the settings, and that's what we'll do in some further sessions. But it's not hard if you know what pieces to use that are appropriate for what you're doing. And more importantly, if you have the stack of tools that support what you're trying to do. In my case, I just want to have an open community, and we're going to be actually building out an app or having the mobile app, again, that runs with all of this same stuff that we're doing. It'll run in the mobile app. Anything that happens in the mobile app will get updated on the website in real time. Anything that happens on the website gets updated on the mobile app in real time. But my goal here is to build out a community, have as many users as I can who are interested, fanatics about pickleball, and they want to create groups with, liked ideas. Maybe it's their club or association or a type of game or a type of place to play, whatever it happens to be. It'll be like my own private Facebook for pickleball players. We're going to monetize it. We're going to let it grow to start off with. I talked last week about a whole bunch of different ways to monetize it. Right now it's open. There's no tiered membership, so there's not a free and a paid membership. That's something we might consider in the future. There's no setup so that, that we have certain levels that are allowed access to certain parts of the site. Some aren't. The other thing that's going to happen is I didn't add any courses, did I? So we can start adding some courses, some free courses, and more importantly, some paid courses as well. And remember, it's a user-created content. I don't have to create the courses necessarily. I can have other people create the courses, have them as part of this site and this community. So I hope you enjoyed it. We went 2 hours, an hour later than I thought I would. Again, I'll try and make sure, I'll probably have to edit a little bit some of the content here because I think I showed some passwords that I shouldn't showing at the beginning. So I'll try and cut those out or hide those. But for the most part, we've got an opportunity here to build out a community, WordPress installed, plugins installed, site is live and ready to go to take registrations. If you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comments or join teachonline.io, where we have all of this information available in our free community. If you want it done for you and you want a site done quickly based on your specific needs, if you want it managed and taken care of, we do that as well at trainingsites.io. So that's our business, building out these training sites. And this is just an example of a community site that uses all the same materials that would we find in a training site. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's James Maduke speaking. Do these on a regular basis. Make sure to have some fun with us and get involved in your passion and share what you love and do. Take care and expect the best.